Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to walk you through the new pencil tool for the avatar in CLO3D 2026.0. This is a really interesting addition because instead of building everything in a more traditional way from the start, you can now sketch directly onto the avatar freehand, preview how that line will convert and then turn it into a 3D pen line ready for further editing. For anyone working visually or trying to map out shapes and ideas a little faster on the body, this tool has a lot of potential. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to access the tool, how the sketch mode works, how to use options like symmetry and the eraser, what to watch out for when converting your lines, and then how to take that sketch into the next stage using the 3D pen. One really useful detail to understand before we begin is that CLO fixes the view in this mode to front and back while you're sketching, so that the line conversion stays a little bit more controlled. You can still zoom in, but the locked viewpoint is there to help that sketch convert properly. If you're curious about whether this tool is actually useful in practice or just want to understand how it works step by step, then let's get into it. Okay, so before you get started, you want to make sure that you have got an avatar loaded into your window. It doesn't have to be female, it can be a male, it could be a kid's. I believe it works across all of the avatars. So the 3D pencil tool for the avatar is nestled underneath the 3D pen for avatar. So this is the usual tool that you'll be used to using. 3D pencil is the middle one. And when you select that, you will get this pop-up box. And in here, you can toggle between the pencil or the eraser. You can change the size of the eraser to bigger or smaller. In the pencil, you can choose to have symmetry on or off. And you can choose to have the conversion guide on or off as well. I'm going to leave that off in this case. As I mentioned in the introduction, you only have your front and back viewpoints. So you can't move around using your right click and drag as you usually would with your 3D pen tools. So this is a little bit more limiting, but it helps to control the conversion. So don't worry too much about it. So to get started, you would just start your line, and because we have got symmetry on, we only need to go halfway so we can meet in the middle and ignore my lines. Always fun drawing with a mouse. I'm going to go for this kind of style. I'm going to draw on some seam lines, so maybe I want to have a like yoke kind of line here, and then another line here. And then I will go to the back view and I can kind of see what's going on at the front to allow me to sketch on the back as well. So I will follow the shape in here. I'll do more of a rounded neckline here, come back into the center, and now I have my basic outline for what I want. Now everything else from here is kind of the same as what it was with the 3D pen tool. If I click here, convert to 3D pen, this will convert those lines that I have just created into the 3D pen tool lines that you will be familiar with if you have tried using the 3D pen and drawn in the 3D space. So I can already see that there are a couple of issues here. From a side view, the armhole is just way too far out away from the body. I can correct those pretty easily just by dragging those points and bringing them in closer to the body. What I will recommend, if any of you are not familiar with the 3D pen and working in the 3D space, is to go for your side views using your number keypad. So if you go for like a number 2, that's your front view, 4 and 6 are side, and 8 is back. This will help you to control better exactly where you are moving your lines, because if you try and move them freeform just from any angle, then you will get some rather strange results. And when you think a line's in a certain place, you then go back and check it from another angle and it is not. So it's definitely worth using those numbers on your keypad and controlling that movement a little bit more. So I'm going to bring all of these in a little bit closer to the body. I'm going to take this one a little bit further away, because what we don't want is for anything to be overlapping with the body, as it can cause a little bit of issue when you are actually tracing off your pattern pieces. So just move all of your points, make sure that nothing is overlapping. Got a bit of an issue here as well. I might just pull this one out from the side. If you do find that you can't actually get the point to come out where you want it to, right click and add a curve point, and then you will be able to adjust that line a little bit more and bring it away from the body. I'm also, for this view here, I'm not really happy with the positioning of these points from the front, so I'm going to move all of these in a little bit. And as you can see, that actually moved the view at the front as well. So that is not what I want to do. So I will control those when I get to the back. Let's have a look at the front line. I'm going to bring this one in a little bit more. And the same here. Kind of happy with the front. I'm going to look at the other side here for the other armhole. Bring these in. Bring this up. And then I'm going to go for a back view so that I can control this movement a little bit more here. And bring these in, make this a slightly nicer shape. Got a little bit of an issue here with an overlap, so I will move that up and pull that out. Just double check then from the side views that everything looks how it should. Okay, and now let's trace these off. So now, exactly as the 3D pen avatar tool, we're using the flatten. The flatten tool, once you select it, will highlight the areas that you can select to trace off as pattern pieces. You just hold shift to select all of the pattern pieces that you want. So those are the main pattern pieces that I want for this style. I will press enter, and they will be traced off in my 3D window. They will also be sewn together. So if I go to my edit sewing, I can see that the majority of them are sewn together. I do have a little section here where I would have liked to have been a little bit closer under the arm, but we still have a pattern. So there we go. That is with symmetry. And we can go on then and make further edits to the pattern, anything that we might want. We might want to actually cut this in half and apply symmetry so that everything is the same. We might want to change some of these lines that are not perfect and really tailor this better to the body. But as a starting point, you can see how quick it can be for doing an idea visualization of a garment. I hope you all found this tutorial on the new 3D pencil tool for CLO 2026 helpful. I wanted to add a little bit of an honest review at the end, a little bit of a disclaimer or caveat, just to let you know how I truly found the tool rather than just showing how it works. So this is a tool that I see a lot of potential with, I really do. I kind of have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with it at the moment because I think it does need some improvements, which I'm sure will come over time. So as you saw in the video, there were quite a few things that kind of didn't go to plan on a style that I picked as something being quite straightforward and not too complicated. So the things that were quite tricky were, as you noticed, when I actually traced off the pattern, when I generated the pattern from the pencil tool itself, that automatically takes you into the Edit 3D pen tool so that you can see all of the lines that it has generated. Now, a lot of those were just too far away from the body, way too far away from the body, and I had to spend a lot of time bringing those points in and refining them. Probably a lot more time actually than what I showed in the tutorial, so that it wouldn't be too long. So that is one of the things that it shouldn't take that long, and those lines shouldn't be generating so far away from the body when you have drawn the style so close to the body in the first place. So that is one of the things that didn't go to plan and required a lot more editing time than I thought was necessary. I also had a go at doing a couple of other styles. I had a go at doing a t-shirt, which is quite simple again, but a little bit looser fitting than the style I went for in the end. And I also tried a skirt. A couple of things that I found with those. The t-shirt I found didn't plot off as well as I had hoped. Nowhere near as good as the actual body style that we went for in the tutorial itself. I had a lot more issues with that because it is further away from the body and the lines needed a lot more refinement. And with the skirt, I tried quite a simple A-line skirt, which again didn't go quite to plan. And I also did a tiered version of a skirt as well, which I found a lot more issues with, because if you do have any lines that are overlapping, it considers every single line that crosses over as a piece, rather than, you know, your tiers in sections. It would be the piece that overlaps the middle section. So there is a lot of work that can be done to improve this tool. However, I think it's worth everybody giving it a go. Probably stick with a style that's a little bit closer to the body than something a little bit looser, and probably more of a top than a skirt, I think, is the way forwards for now, until there are some more improvements on this tool. But all the feedback will go to helping build the tool better. Other than that, I think the only other thing that we had a little bit of an issue with during the tutorial was any lines that overlap the avatar. So you want to make sure that all of those are pulled out away from the body as well. You don't want anything to be overlapping the avatar. That can cause issues when you flatten and bring in your patterns. Other than that, it was straightforward enough, but you have to know the 3D pen tool to be able to then go in and edit it how you need to. So there is still a lot of work that needs to be done here. I am going to include some little snippets in the background of my issues as I was using the tool, so that you can see some of those and realise that this is not just something that happens to new people using the tool. You know, I have been using CLO for a lot of years now, and I teach the software, but this tool really got me, and it took me quite a little while to figure it out. So hopefully these will help you too. So that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed this little bit of extra information after as well. Have a go with the tool for sure, and let me know what you think in the comments. Bye bye for now.